been a long and very nasty battle, practically blood on the floor, but Republicans are finally closing ranks behind Governor Mitt Romney. And just today, House Speaker John Boehner and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell throwing their support behind him. But he needs more than those two. He also needs the Tea Party. Will he get the Tea Party? What does he have to do to win them over? Representative Kristi Noem won them over in 2010. She joins us. Nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you too, Greta.
All right, so does he have the Tea Party, or what is he going to have to do, Governor Romney, to get the Tea Party?
Well, he will. He's running against President Obama, and it's a very clear choice when you're making that comparison.
So is it just that although he may not be their favorite candidate, he is better than anybody but? Is that sort of the theory?
Oh, absolutely. And they want people that have real life experience. And when we get a vice presidential candidate as well, I think that they'll look at that ticket and get very excited. You know, frankly, point to one policy that this president has enacted that's actually worked. And I think that if we just talk about what's the harm has been done to the American people, it'll make a big difference.
Would he strategically be wise to get someone who's particularly attractive as a vice president to the Tea Party as an inspiration? Not that it's going to change the numerical numbers, but just to inspire more people to get out.
Oh, I don't think we need inspiration to get people motivated in this election. I think we need a well-rounded person who has integrity, who is willing to make some tough decisions, and that has some experience out in the real world, and I think that he'll do that. All
right, talking about the real world, let's talk about the tax code. You want to simplify it. What's the matter? You don't like 3,300 earmarks, as the Simpson-Bowles Commission calls the 3,300 deductions and credits and everything else?
You know, we really do need to simplify. This is one of the reasons that I ran. I ran several businesses back in South Dakota, and the death tax was one of the things that motivated me to get involved in government to begin with. Just the fact that people, that they can't understand our tax code enough to even file their own taxes correctly themselves shows that we need some simplification. And we need to level the playing field. We do have a lot of loopholes and exemptions out there that need to be examined.
Do you know any members of Congress who prepare their own tax returns? You hear anybody talk about that?
Yeah, I don't. That's a great question to ask. We should do some research on that.
Maybe that ought to be like the first step, is that if the members of Congress can't fill out their own tax returns, that perhaps
there's some reform that might be needed. That's right. You know, but at the end of the day, South Dakota and America needs a competitive tax code as far as corporate tax codes. We can put more people back to work.
Is there any appetite for changing the tax code? Because everyone talks about changing it, but then everyone starts to talk about it and say, well, I don't want to touch that. You know, especially things like deduction of home mortgages. I mean, there are lots of things that nobody wants to touch.
Yeah, I've been in a few of those conversations lately, and it's very frustrating. We've got to have the political will, and I think that people really will. The question is, will that come before this election, or will it come after? I'm hoping that at least some of these conversations can get started this summer.
Is it ever possible, do you ever think it would be possible that there would be a change in the tax code if there were a divided House dominated by one party, Senate dominated by another party, or even the president different from the two?
Yeah, I said that last summer. This would be the perfect time to tackle all of this because we couldn't demonize each other for it. We could each own the reforms and really say we did what was right for the people in this country. So I think it's the perfect time, and I think that's why you saw within the House budget that we addressed tax reform. We think it's important.
But yet he may address it, but then you couldn't get any traction in the Senate, so we're still, you can pass all the laws you want in the House, if the Senate can pass all it wants, you've still got to work together, and you got to get it.
Yeah, that's one of the processes that drives me crazy about this place, is that these two bodies can completely ignore each other, that the House can take all this action and do this work, yet the Senate can sit there and not even do a budget for years, much less pass any legislation that's meaningful for this country to get us out of this mess.
So what do you want to do this job? I know you're running for re-election. I mean, like, with all the frustration, what's the attraction?
You know, it truly is a belief in this country. It really is. You have to examine your heart and why you're here, and it's really that I still think that we have a chance to turn this around. I'm not ready to give up. You know, my dad didn't raise a quitter, I guess, so we got to stick to it.
Are you going to endorse? You haven't endorsed yet.
No, I haven't. I truly believe that it will be Mitt Romney at this point, but I felt that the American people needed to make their decision. And, you know, honestly, this is our primary process. People have tried to say it's been a negative thing all along. This is our republic at work. This is people weighing in, and it refines our candidate, and now he'll be ready to run in this general election and be that much more prepared and that much more refined.
Congratulations is due.
Yeah.
May 5th, you graduate from college, or you give the commencement speech?
I do. You know, my dad passed away when I was in college, and I came home and took over the family farm. So I went back a couple years ago and kept working at it and finally got it completed this year. So yeah, it's exciting times. We'll get that done.
And you're actually going to speak?
I am. I'm going to be the graduating senior speaker. So it is a lot of things to juggle the last year and a half, but we've gotten it done, and I have really enjoyed this education that I've continued both at home and here.
Are you the first member of Congress who's graduated from college while serving?
Oh, I doubt it. I doubt it. I would think somebody would have at some point.
I don't know. Anyway, Congresswoman, nice to see you. Come back soon.
Yep.